So Melinda, we've talked so much about our husbands doing these trainings. We've got several videos explaining different ways to share the gospel with people, but I think it starts earlier than that, don't you?
Yeah.
And you shared something with me I'd like for you to share of how God spoke to you and your husband way back in the day and helped you to start sharing the gospel.
The first thing it starts with is a burden. You got to have a burden for the lost. I remember Richard went on a mission trip, and when he was gone, I was praying for him, and it just began to build my heart for the lost, because I was praying for the work that he was out there doing. But when he walked back in the door, I'll never forget it, and he said, you know what, we have to go back. We need to reach people for Christ. So I remember sitting in church, and I remember that our pastor said something about, you know, you got to have a burden for the lost, and if you don't have a burden for the lost, you need to pray and ask God to give you one.
Awesome.
Well, we already had a burden, but I prayed anyway, and I said, Lord, give us such a strong burden that it puts a fire under our feet, and that we will go and that we'll reach others. And boy, did he. So with us, that's kind of how it started, was with praying for a burden to reach the lost with the gospel.
Awesome. And I think you're right. If you have all the tools in your pocket, you have all these things that you've learned, but you're so afraid to advance and speak to someone, you have to have a thought of, wow, this is their eternity. Where will they spend eternity? And I think that you're right. For our neighbors, for friendships, for people we work with, for our family members, for our kids' friends, so many of those things that we've already talked about, how God uses women to reach people. But you're right. I think the heaviest part is just seeing people as lost and going on their way to hell. And it's like, wow, that's pretty deep for us. We need to be praying that. I love that prayer, because God will definitely answer that prayer.
Yes, he will.
He'll intensify that fire in our hearts, and that is a really important prayer. I think that's awesome. Good start for witnessing. And we would like to encourage all of you in the same way. We have many videos on sharing our faith, and we'd love for you to follow us and learn from us, but especially let's start with praying that God would give us a hot desire and put us on fire to reach the lost. Thank you for joining us today.
See you next time.